Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Former President Biden shares a message of resilience following his cancer diagnosis. President Trump claims a breakthrough after speaking with Vladimir Putin. He says Russia and Ukraine are ready for ceasefire talks. A tragic collision at an iconic landmark now under federal scrutiny. The questions surrounding a deadly crash at the Brooklyn Bridge.
And coming away today, it's likely going to be the hottest day of the week down here in South Texas, with some of us possibly in the hundreds. But if the heat's not for you, guess what? We've got a cold front coming next week that will actually cool us off. All that in the weather coming up.
Good morning, Crossroads. We have another big signing day at Victoria East High School. See where Victoria East senior varsity soccer player Likaila Neva has signed, coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. Hope you're ready for a hot day.
A hot day. You know, not super hot like July kind of heat.
Oh, not microwave yet.
Thank goodness we're not there yet. But
we're just in the oven.
Yeah,
regular
we're just kind of preheating the oven right now. In fact, this morning, if you're tuning in with us, we are already beginning the preheating process. This morning, we are starting out the day quite warm. It is 80 degrees flat in Victoria right now. How about that for a warm Tuesday morning? 76-degree dew point. How about that for a whopping high dew point, I should say, bringing humidity to 87% here in Victoria, which is not enough to see any fog. You can actually see that, none of that out there right now on your screen. All that thanks to also because we have a very light breeze blowing through right now. Sustained winds coming out of the south-southeast right now are between 5 to 10 miles an hour. However, we have had a few gusts at times being reported at 15. So that's why we have a little bit of mixing in the air right now, so you don't have to worry about any fog this morning. But that wind that's coming out of the Gulf, just very slightly breezy right now, bringing us a bit of a warm morning, because the water temperatures right now are like 81, 82 degrees. And that's bringing us all in the upper 70s and low 80s for air temperatures this morning. And the same thing's pretty consistent for all the way up until about central Texas, where they have a dry line passing through them, which will actually cool us off just a little bit tonight, which we'll look at later. Because today, if you're about to head out the door for your Tuesday errands, it's going to be a hot one. I'm thinking hot and humid as well, decreasing cloud cover with heat indices 105 to 110. All that coming up next.
Former President Joe Biden has spoken publicly for the first time about his recent prostate cancer diagnosis. In a social media post, he wrote, "Cancer touches us all. Jill and I have learned we are strongest in the broken places. Thank you for lifting us up." His team says it's an aggressive form of cancer that has spread to the bone. Doctors say it's hormone sensitive, which means it can be effectively managed. The former president and his family are now exploring treatment options. President Trump says his phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday went very well. Trump says Russia and Ukraine are set to begin talks toward a ceasefire and an end to the war. He added the two countries should lead the negotiations themselves, saying they understand the details best. Trump is also expected to speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The war began when Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. The National Transportation Safety Board has launched a safety investigation after a Mexican Navy ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge on Saturday. 2 people were killed and more than 12 injured. Officials say they're focusing on the crew, the ship, and surrounding conditions. They're also waiting for clearance to board the vessel and begin interviews. The investigation could take several months. A morning drop-off at Cade Middle School turns controversial when a school resource officer restrains a special needs teen. An officer claims he saw an assault, but the father tells a different story. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley has more.
In this almost 4-minute video taken by a witness, we see a 14-year-old 8th grader at Cade Middle School on the ground, handcuffed and on his knees. Throughout the video, the special needs boy is yelling, "He doesn't have the right to put me in these," a phrase he repeats 22 times. 3 deputies are near the student, and at one point, 2 deputies walk the student over to a bench to sit down. The student is seen sending 1 kick toward the deputy. Early on, 5 adults are standing by, watching the incident. 2 eventually re-enter the school. Jay is the teen's father. He say he requested a school resource officer, but didn't expect for things to get out of hand. He says his son was simply tapping him, begging him not to make him go to school. The school resource officer viewed that as an assault and yanked the boy out of the car.
I couldn't believe he'd done it. I honestly couldn't believe it, because he is here to protect and serve, not violate.
Jay says his son is traumatized from that day and was scared to go back to school. That day, the teen was eventually released and he went to class.
I felt like here I am trying to protect my son and help him, and yet I have an armed person who's supposed to help protect us violating him and assaulting him, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Jay's son is currently seeking counseling. He says his son feels hurt and confused about what happened. A spokesperson with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office says the teen ignored verbal commands, and after a review of the incident, administrators determined no policies were violated. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
3 people are on the mend after a crash that shut down Highway 72 in DeWitt County Friday morning. Troopers say a Dodge Ram 2500 was rear-ended while turning and pushed into oncoming traffic, hitting a Prius head-on. The Ram's driver, Vanessa Quecker of Cuero, was treated and released. Juan Tijerna of San Antonio and Robert Gibbs of Cuero were flown to Brooke Army Medical Center. Both are recovering. A Victoria man says an abandoned, overgrown lot next to his mother's home is putting his loved ones at risk. Roosevelt Williams says his 90-year-old grandmother lives at the home in the 1400 block of Bottom Road. He says the neighboring property has become infested with snakes, rodents, and swarms of insects, including bees and hornets. Williams says the thick brush has nearly swallowed a nearby mobile home his family used to live in, calling it completely uninhabitable now.
Get the trees off the house, man. The house is already tore up. You don't, I ain't gonna say nothing. I mean, it's tore up, it's too late. I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm just saying clean your property up. Get your trees off the fence and off the house. At least maybe in the wintertime I could tear it down and get rid of it. But as the way it is right now, I'm not going in there.
Victoria County Appraisal District records show the overgrown property is owned by Victoria County. Victoria County Commissioner Danny Garcia said after the flood of '98, the General Land Office took those properties and deeded them to the county. The county is working to identify all of the properties taken over through the buyout so it can get them cleaned up through a contract. The county would then begin maintaining the properties. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock. It is 6:38 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next. Victoria College making a major investment in student success.
The former president's cancer diagnosis drawing new questions about his health while in the White House. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details this morning.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, like you heard me say, today it's going to be a little bit of a hot day. I mean, you don't believe me? Look at that. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how hot I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. We are starting out the day looking live at Cuero. Very warm, 81 degrees right now in Cuero, and the dew point making it real humid at 76. Humidity is at 85%, but not enough to worry about fog, so don't worry about that this morning. Today, I want you all to worry about the heat, which we're going to look at that in here in just a second, because starting out with your future tracker here in the morning time, right now, I've been continuously checking radar all morning. There is nothing on radar right now. I want to let you all know just west of San Antonio or southwest of it right now. But in the morning time, we are going to have about a 5 to 10% chance to see a shower. No thunderstorms, I'm thinking, coming out of the west, but maybe a shower or two coming out of the west, but something for our western counties. Otherwise, everybody else, we're going to see a little bit of cloudy skies in the morning time. That will be on the decrease all day long. Partly cloudy by noontime, mostly sunny to sunny, I'm thinking, in the afternoon time with a few passing clouds, which will allow for a little bit of energy to build up in the afternoon time as a very weak dry line will be passing through, giving us maybe another 10% chance to maybe see 1 or 2 showers. I'm not thinking any thunderstorms, and if there is a thunderstorm that does develop, it won't be severe today, because we'll look at that severe risk in just a second, because today we're going to be the hottest day of the week. Why? Because today we're going to have a light wind with us. Today's wind gusts are up to 10 miles an hour. Yesterday they were up to 40. The day before that they were also up to 40. Today though it's going to be very, very weak, allowing for some of that stagnant air to build up, allowing for some hot temperatures today. By noontime already at 90, but in the afternoon, most of us are going to be looking for mid to upper 90s today, unless you're in the western counties. You're going to be looking for about 100, maybe even 101 possibly. But humidity will also be moderate today in the afternoon, bringing heated seas for most of us, especially Highway 59 counties and southward toward the coast, as high as 105 to 110. So stay hydrated today, but continue doing that for the rest of this week, because looking at your 7-day, it's still a little bit hot with highs sticking in the low mid 90s. But if that's not for you, we got a cold front coming next week, and we're going to look at that next.
This past season, the Victoria East High School varsity soccer team finished second in their district. After scoring 6 goals overall this season, senior Likaila Neva has made the decision to sign with Concordia University in Austin. We caught up with her on the big day to receive a word.
I think it's going to be a good journey, especially because I know someone that's going to the same college as me. And I think it'll make the experience a little bit less nerve-wracking. And make it more fun.
So anytime we see any of our kids move on to the next level, that means better education for them in the future. And if we can do that through athletics, I think that's one of the most amazing things. So watching our kids blossom and grow and become the young ladies that they are, and then going off and, spreading not only their talent athletically, but also academically. And we're just putting those little seeds from Victoria East out there all around the state.
Big congratulations to Likaila on the big event. That does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Former President Biden's late-stage cancer diagnosis is prompting new questions about his past medical evaluations.
This morning, former President Biden's cancer diagnosis is drawing new questions about his health while in the White House.
I think people should try and find out what happened.
President Trump called Biden's cancer diagnosis sad while appearing to cast doubt on Biden's doctors.
Maybe it was the same doctor, and somebody is not telling the facts. That's a big problem.
Biden's team said doctors diagnosed him Friday with an aggressive form of prostate cancer after he experienced urinary symptoms, and say the cancer had spread to the bones. President Trump now suggesting without evidence that the announcement was delayed.
I'm surprised that it wasn't, the public wasn't notified a long time ago, because to get to stage 9, that's a long time.
President Trump inaccurately referred to Biden's diagnosis as stage 9, a likely reference to his Gleason score of 9. That scale out of 10 measures how aggressive cancer cells appear to be. Biden's last physical as president was in 2024, when routine tests identified no new concerns. But medical records do not indicate whether he was given a PSA test, which detects prostate cancer. Men over 70 are typically not recommended for the test. That's because guidelines say many men of that age group will experience false positives and treatment complications.
So the screening test itself, the PSA, is an imperfect screening methodology for identifying the kind of prostate cancer that is most impactful and aggressive to men.
This all comes as Biden deflects criticisms sparked by a new book, Original Sin, which claims Biden's aides took steps to shield the public from his cognitive decline. Naomi Biden, the former president's granddaughter, slamming the book, calling it uninspired lies written by irresponsible, self-promoting journalists out to make a quick buck. Meanwhile, a prostate specialist at Duke University calls the timeline of Biden's diagnosis, quote, perfectly reasonable and not medically unusual. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
The Victoria College Board of Trustees approved several technology purchases on Monday. The new equipment is for the upcoming Student Success Center. College officials say the building is progressing well, and they aim to improve resources for students. Plans include buying over 300 new computers and boosting security measures. They're hoping to act fast to secure current prices before potential increases due to tariffs.
The building construction is just making great pace. And we're on time and on budget. The stars are aligning. We want to make sure that we're able to celebrate and launch the Student Success Center in conjunction with our 100th anniversary.
The company managing the project says it's currently running about $100,000 below budget, and VC plans to finish the Student Success Center by December. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know what improvements benefit college students the most. All right, let's take a look. 17% of you say more computers, 5% of you say improved internet with Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi access, and 78% of you say specialized training software. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. It's that time of year. Caps are flying, smiles are shining, and futures are just beginning. Congratulations to Oriana Potts. We are so proud of you, Oriana. Your dedication and sacrifices have paid off, and you are not only graduating, but you're graduating with 30+ dual credits for your future college career. We love you very much and pray God blesses your future endeavors. Love from Mom, Dad, and the family. Congratulations to Legacy Walker. She's a kindergarten grad from Roland Elementary. Go Roadrunners. And congratulations to Noah Drake Chapa. You did it. We're extremely proud of you for continuing to follow your dreams and success. Amid life's challenges, your journey awaits. Love Mom, Dad, Dylan, and Carly. Now through June 13th, you can submit a photo and a heartfelt message for your graduate, and we'll feature them on air and on our social media. It's our way of celebrating the class of 2025 with you. Just head on over to crossroadstoday.com, click the entertainment tab, select contest, and upload your tribute and share your pride. The time now is, let's get a look. It is 6:48 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A teenager trapped in a powerful rip current, a fisherman with no swimming skills, and an unexpected hero. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy 14th birthday to Jeremiah. We hope you have a blessed day and may you enjoy your day.
Oh, happy birthday, Jeremiah, and also happy 4th birthday to Callie. We hope you have a blessed day today. Love Mommy, Daddy, Bubba, and Sissy.
And the goddess of pop is celebrating a birthday today. The TV personality, singer, and actress is turning 78. Happy birthday to Cher.
Ooh, happy birthday, Cher. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw lots more heat coming away, but more importantly, you probably saw a cold front coming away next week. So what's that all about? Well, we're going to look at that here in just a second, because first things first, we got to deal with the heat, which is coming away for the next several days. Looking at your temperatures, high temperatures across beautiful Texas today on your Tuesday, you can see South Texas is actually going to be the hottest today because we have a dry line that is moving across the state right now as we speak, which we will look at in just a second, and that's going to actually cool us down a little bit tonight. You can see lows in South Texas and in the Crossroads only falling to the low 70s, so we're not really cooled off, but technically we're cooling from the low 80s, what we're at right now, down to the low 70s. So that is technically cooling off. And here's that dry line I was talking about. You can see it moving through central Texas and all the way up into Arkansas, where they actually have a couple strong thunderstorms up there. But like I was saying earlier, I've been checking radar all morning long. There isn't a single shower out there, to which we would have a 10% chance to see one in the morning time. But I'm going to continue watching that all morning because there might be something, but where there is going to be something is in the Mississippi River Valley, where they have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe weather today. So if you have any family or friends over there as that dry line moves east, let them know they probably have some nasty weather coming their way. But the nasty weather that's coming our way in the Crossroads and in beautiful Texas, it's the heat. You can see temperatures on a Wednesday, Weather Wednesday tomorrow. We can see back in the 90s across much of the state with that sun coming back out, and back in the hundreds possibly in West Texas as we go into Thursday. All of that, it will continue heating us up because of high pressure moving over our heads, staying over our heads rather, next several days, because air underneath high pressure sinks. It's compressed air and it expands once it hits the surface. So we've got more energy to deal with. But the big pattern change coming away next week is this low pressure system coming out of Canada, which will send a cool front all the way through the country, passing us Monday night, dropping our high temperatures down to the 70s and also bring with it some rain. And we'll look at all of that and more later on Sunrise.
A quick thinking fisherman and some high-tech gear saved a teenage girl's life off the Florida Panhandle.
I was shaking pretty bad. It was nerve-wracking. I I about cried.
Andrew Smith says he was fishing on Pensacola Beach when he saw a swimmer struggling in a rip current about 100 yards offshore.
I was sitting there, and this girl came running asking if anybody could swim, and I said, no, I absolutely cannot swim. And I looked down at the drone, and I was like, well, the drone can swim, I can't.
That's when Smith grabbed his drone, which he uses to cast bait. He tied a flotation device to the drone, hoping to fly it out to the teenage girl, but he missed on the first try.
And I flew it out, and it was a terrible miss. I released it too early. It was really windy.
By now, the girl had been battling the rip current for 5 long minutes. Then someone gave Smith a second flotation device.
I lowered it until you could see her hands grab it, and then I lowered it a little more and I released it, and then she climbed on it and started like floating. If it wasn't for that second drop, she wouldn't have made it. The EMS said she wouldn't have made it, the cops and the lifeguards.
The girl was able to use the flotation device until first responders arrived. The use of that drone to make a life-saving rescue is now prompting other public safety officials to look into using drones as lifeguards.
There's definitely a possibility, and we're looking at it.
Smith says the girl's father thanked him, calling him a guardian angel. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. From the Vatican to Joint Base Andrews, Vice President Vance is back on U.S. soil. Vice President J.D. Vance arrived at Joint Base Andrews Monday night after attending Pope Leo XIV's inaugural Mass at the Vatican. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Ukrainian President Zelensky were also there. Pope Leo XIV led a 2-hour Mass at St. Peter's Basilica, marking the start of his papacy. Stricter bail rules advanced through the Texas House, which had blocked an overhaul in previous sessions. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on CrossroadsToday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV, through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And we are watching the humidity right now. Parker, how's it looking over Port Lavaca?
Humidity, let's say it's like up here. The very highest it could be, because look alive in Port Lavaca, it's real cloudy out there, and that's keeping our dew point at 79 degrees. Again, I'm going to keep saying this because this is an extreme feat to be having this morning. A dew point 79 is only 4 degrees away from the all-time highest ever recorded in history. Dew point 83 degrees is the highest ever in Corpus Christi, which is only 100 miles away from us, but there's no observations out of Port Lavaca to where I can get that. But it is very humid this morning, I can assure you that, so make sure to apply some hairspray, but also be sure to drink some water today, because humidity will be a little bit of a factor this afternoon when the sun comes out, and that's going to heat us up to about 92 in Port Lavaca with heat indices as high as 105 to 110. So that's why I'm saying please stay hydrated. But a little bit hotter in Victoria, 96 today, and about 98 I'm thinking today in Cuero. But for the next few days, we're going to stay a little bit hot. You can see highs sticking in the low mid 90s the next several days. But if that's not for you, like I said earlier, we got a front coming away next week, Monday, Memorial Day night.
All right, Parker, we're staying young with this humidity.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Good time.
And thank y'all for being with us. Be sure to tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.